100% real. And that's how they're getting it. And that's how they're separating themselves. And I think a person who can regularly run on a regular basis, run miles and miles and miles, that's a special person. That's a very unusual person. That's a person of will, you know? A person who could just, at any time, you could just tag them, let's go run. And they can run like, that's what Goggins and Cam Hanes do to each other, these fucking psychopaths. Yeah. Cam Hanes, like, calls Goggins and say, hey, I'm in Vegas, let's go running. And so Goggins calls out a spot check. Like, if you have a true friend, he spot checks you. Yeah. Those motherfuckers ran a marathon in the streets of Las Vegas. They ran 26 miles, just because. Yeah, at like a 6-minute mile pace. Like, bananas. Just bananas. Like, out of nowhere. Like, you didn't know I was coming. I call you. Let's go running. Let's see what's up. And two fucking complete total psychopaths running 26 miles in the Las Vegas heat. Nuts. Sick. Yeah. So there's people like that out there that are just different. And their journey to be different is taking a long time to get to where they are right now.
What are your beliefs around, because I have mine just from my experience, what are your beliefs on where they were before they were born? Do you think that they have something in them because of a previous life?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. Like, if previous lives were proven to be true, which right now they're not, it's like just an idea, because you can't know. How could you know? But a lot of people in a lot of religions and a lot of different cultures have believed in reincarnation. There's actually, I think, what university? Maybe University of Virginia. There's a whole department that's studying people who've had these like near-death experiences. They're going back and talking about previous lives. It's an interesting question, but there's no evidence, right? There's no data.
Is. Jamie, I don't know if you've seen this or heard of it.
Well, I mean, even if these people have stories, unless they have stories that match up with historical facts.
Yeah. Well, I think it is oftentimes. I think it's like you have like some kids who are just telling you about someone else's life and they should not know it, but they're like...
I have heard those stories. Yeah. But I don't know if those are real, because one of the problems is people bullshit. And they make things out to be a little bit more profound than they are, so it makes for a better story. And if you're a true believer, maybe even juice up the results a little bit. It's hard to know. Yeah. But I'm not opposed to the idea of a reincarnation, and I'm not opposed to the idea that some people are just special, because it seems like that's real. It seems like there's certain people that just emerge, and there's just something about them, and it's not necessarily just the hard work. It's not necessarily just the mindset. There's something
I like the
on.
framework of it, of thinking about this infinite game. Because then it's like, well, why am I going to do this work? Like, this sounds like a lot of work, all this self-introspection. It's like to understand that, like, you're playing this infinite game. Yeah. And if you deal with your shit now, then your life is going to be more peaceful and have more flow in the future. Yeah. If you don't deal with it, this is just, you're just kicking the ball down the road.
Yeah, well, that's true.
At least it is true in this life, and I don't know. I feel like it could be true in your next one as well.
If you have a next one, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, maybe it's not as simple as that. We're just assuming every time we wake up that we're in the same timeline. Mm-hmm. But just the idea of going to sleep is really kooky. Yeah. It's really kooky. You decide to close your eyes every night and you just disconnect from physical reality for hours at a time, and it's necessary. And we all just take it for granted.
Where do we go?
Oh, normal. I don't know where we go, but I go to a lot of zombies.
Do you really?
Oh yeah, I have a lot of zombie dreams. Last night I had a great zombie apocalypse dream.
We need a dream interpreter in here.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I have a whole lot of confidence in the human race keeping it together. At the very best, I'm like 60-40 plus that we're going to figure it out. But that 40%...
During your lifetime or just...
Yeah, maybe this week. Who fucking knows? It's all dependent upon what kind of disaster takes place. It's all dependent upon what kind of shit goes down. And when you look historically, shit has always gone down when people thought shit could never go down. And that's us right now. And that's why zombie movies work.
Yeah. And that's why they're making them infiltrating into your brain.
Yeah, I started watching 28 Years Later, Jamie.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
I shut that bitch off. I was about to go to bed. It was like 8 o'clock at night. I'm like, let me watch this. I'm like, no. I figured it out 10, 15 minutes in where they, I don't want to say what happens. I don't want to spoil it.
You got to watch some Barney after that.
But right away, I was like, okay, this is one where I'm going to have to do hours before I go to sleep, because them zombie dreams.
Even watching, like, The House of Dragon and Game of Thrones, like, some gruesome stuff before bed.
Yeah, like real hardcore, like realistic violence is rough. right before you go to sleep.
I mean, just what I know about the mind, how the subconscious works, like, it's just obvious. Every time I go to bed, I'm like, you shouldn't have done that.
For sure. Here's what's interesting, though. I can watch brutal fights and sleep like a baby. That seems weird.
I wonder why.
That's weird because that's real violence, right? The stuff that I'm seeing in the movies, I know is horseshit.
Yeah. For some reason, it feels more controlled.
I don't know. I think I'm just used to it, honestly. I think it's like everything else. I think, there's a lot of doctors that they'll tell you, if they're being honest with you, that there comes a time when people die that it doesn't affect them the same anymore. They're so used to people dying, especially like emergency room doctors dealing with like traumatic injuries, and you get accustomed to people dying.
I think it's also the idea of like evil, though. If you're watching something, you're seeing evil take place versus like, for me, when I watch MMA, I'm like, I know these guys. Like, I love these guys. You know, I've never worked with a guy who I don't love. They all have great hearts, and like, I feel this genuine like goodness. Like, I haven't met that many guys, so I don't know them all, but like, when I see it, I don't see like evil. There's
a lot of really, really, really good guys and good women that fight in MMA, and it's because of what we talked about before. They've gone through something insanely difficult. They're a very special person. Even people that you don't think are like great people, like Sean Strickland, super controversial. Sean Strickland is a fucking great guy. If you get him alone, you talk to him, he's a great guy. He's super smart, super disciplined, saved up a ton of money. He was talking the other day about like he's got like $4 million saved. Super smart, man. Yeah, so he could like retire at any moment, live a simple life, and never work again. And he's not, but he's outrageous. He's outrageous. He says wild shit, but it's like, what do you expect from the way that guy grew up? Like, he didn't grow up the way you grew up.
He's got some unresolved trauma.
100%.
And I don't know. This is something that I think some fighters think about. It's like, if I get rid of my trauma, am I going to be weaker? Right. Do I need this as an edge? I don't believe they do. That's been my experience.
Yeah, I don't think they do either. But then again, some fighters, they go and do ayahuasca and they come back and they're not.
Kumbaya.
Yeah,
they don't want to fight anymore.
Kumbaya. They say that happened to Deontay. Deontay Wilder went and did ayahuasca.
Oh, did he really?
And he came back. It's a little too peaceful. It's hard to say, though, because...
Was that before or after the Tyson Fury fight?
After. So that's the problem. It's like we might be drawing a fake correlation here, because those Tyson Fury fights were fucking brutal.
Yeah.
They were brutal.
I feel like, speaking of belief, right, he had an identity that was bulletproof, that was unbreakable. And I watched all the excuses.
Yeah.
Deontay, no offense.
Yeah, no offense, but his excuses were kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think they're just a byproduct of, like, he believed he was unbeatable, so he had to come up with something to tell the story about how he lost. For himself. It wasn't even, I don't even think it was malicious. I think he was trying to cope with, what is this reality now?
Yeah. Well, what he was a spectacular puncher who wasn't a real fluid and movement-based boxer, right? He wasn't a guy like Usyk. Like, Usyk is the most fluid, movement-based boxer the heavyweight division has seen since Muhammad Ali, right? So what he was what Teddy Atlas calls the eraser. Like, all the mistakes he made, it was one right hand, and they were erased. He's the most spectacular one-punch knockout artist in the history of the sport, I think. I mean, his powers, and not a big guy, not in comparison. He fought Tyson Fury the first time. He told me he was 209. That's crazy. And flatlined him in, like, what, the 11th round? Oh, the 12th, right? Dropped him in the 12th.
Yeah, there's like a minute left or something.
But that 12th round changed the course of the rematches, because Tyson Fury realized that if he goes after Deontay and he gets him on his back foot, he doesn't fight as well. Yeah. And so then he figured it out, and he just took it to him. And then he took it to him in the second fight and took it to him in the third fight. But yeah, it's hard when you hear a guy like that make excuses, but you understand, you do more than anybody, the destruction of the belief system and how difficult it is for fighters to manage that.
Yeah, but if you do the work to rebuild it afterwards, you're stronger.
Right, but you have to do the work, right? And for a lot of guys, again, they don't totally know where to start. Like, say if they have a camp, and inside their camp they have a trainer, they have the strength and conditioning guy, they have different coaches for different aspects of their whatever they're doing, whether it's a stretch coach or a boxing coach or whatever it is. But they don't have a mental guy, They don't have someone who works with you and really makes sure that your mind has the tools to manage itself out of there. And they don't know where to start. Like, where do you, if you're a guy and you're training, any contender, and then he gets knocked out and he comes back from that knockout and you're rebuilding him, but he's got all these confidence issues now. Like, where do you even look? Like, if you're like, I got to help this guy get back on track mentally, get him back to where he was before, like, he got caught. It happens. But he's still an amazing boxer, and he's just got to recover from this, and he can still get back on the horse and still be a world champion. But where do they even start? You know, if they don't know you, where do they start?
Yeah. Well, I think they start by going through the process, just feeling into it, and it's always diving into where you don't want to go, right? It's okay.
Right.
What are the insecurities coming up now? What are the fears coming up? What are the doubts? Usually we try to like stay in our head and escape that. It's about going into it, feeling into it, and then seeing what comes up there, and even like writing it down and just bringing it into awareness. Once you have awareness of it, then you can actually do something about it.
Then you can manage it.
Yes.
Yeah. So this book, how long does it take you to write it?
Like 6 months.
The Success Code.
Well, it was a year, but with
the
the
high
editors.
performance playbook for eliminating mental barriers and scaling your career, relationships, and health.
Yes.
So did you think about like different approaches to like different kinds of occupations and different kinds of ways people are living their life and how it applies?
So the first half of the book is my story. It's kind of like,
okay,
I'm trying to build rapport. So I tell people, this is how I learned all this stuff. This is how
Right.
it worked for me. These are my client stories. So by the end of the first part, you either like, this guy's full of shit, or I believe you. Right? And then the playbook starts, and it is something that anyone can use because it's simple stuff. Like it starts with like, grade the different areas of your life from 1 to 10, right? And then we're looking at closing the gap in each area. If you're like, my career is at a 4, I want it to be at a 10. Okay, let's get the low-hanging fruit of like, what are some of the things you need to stop doing?
that vodka.
All right, the vodka. Let's cut that out, right?
Those 3 glasses in the morning. Stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just going through that auditing system of understanding like what's holding you back, what you need to be more conscientious about. And then I start getting into the training for the mind later on.
Did this system, this writing this stuff down and having these numbers, is this something that you invented? Is this something you learned?
Yeah, something I invented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just how did you
constant.
come to that conclusion that that's how you should do it?
Works. Yeah, just works.
Works for you, works for clients.
For my clients, yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you first started doing it, was it sort of like, what's the best way to mentally manage this situation for this person?
Just trying to solve their problems. That's all I'm trying to do. Just being really creative with my problem solving. And so over the years, I just picked up better tools. I've gotten better at practicing things to be able to solve problems better. I wanted to be full-time at this at 22 years old. It wasn't going to happen. I just didn't have the experience. I didn't have enough tools.
That's so young to want to help other people, you know? Most people at 22 are trying to help themselves.
Yeah, it worked for me so much, and it transformed my life so much that I was like, well, this is what I'm supposed to do. I want to help other people with this.
Interesting. So how did it transform your life? Like, what were the big benefits?
Where do I begin? I would say it started just with coming back the next season and playing football. I went from riding the bench to becoming a starter to being one of the best players on our team. So it helped me with football first. I was like, all right, cool. That helped. Then I started to get actually confidence from being able to help other people, which I didn't have before. I was never something, because football I was like, okay, I wasn't great at it. But once I learned the skill, I actually started to build confidence and just learned to manage my own state, my anxiety, my performance anxiety, and just starting to feel confident. So for the first 10 years or so, by knowing about this, probably first more like 9 years, I was mostly using more elementary meditation techniques, some hypnosis, some NLP. It wasn't until I'd say about 7 years ago that I started going deep into the beliefs, and that transformed my life in a major way. I mean, one thing I did recently was I had hypothyroidism, and I was able to completely heal that naturally.
How'd you do that?
Changing all the underwriting beliefs and then everything, right? Everything I do with any client, it's the same thing I would do for me. It's holistic. So of course, I went through a huge gut cleanse, right? Because the gut is everything. It's the foundation. So did a lot of fasting, elimination diet, cutting out almost all foods except for a few, boiled chicken, bowl of carrots, coconut oil. Started slowly noticing how I felt as I started to increase the portion and start to bring other foods in. I did red light therapy. There's some good red light therapy research out there for the thyroid. If you just put it on, there's a study that showed that people were able to cut their medication in half just by using the infrared light therapy. Yeah, it's good for a ton of things. Great for the gut. So I just started synchronicity, right? I met this lady on the beach in Miami Beach who studies this stuff, red light therapy specifically for the gut. And I was like, well, what about the thyroid? And she's like, yeah, of course it'll help. It's light. Light heals everything. So I just started researching it. So it was I did a lot of things. I cut out caffeine this year. That was a big thing. That I don't think caffeine creates hypothyroidism, but for me, when I turned on that gene, right, epigenetics, I turned on the gene I didn't have to have this, but like my mom has it, my brother has it. And so I had the gene and I put it on through stress, through excessive caffeine and just a very stressful life in my mid-20s. So the way to turn it off was turn off the things that are associated with that stress response. So pulling out the caffeine just put me more in the parasympathetic nervous system, allowed me to relax more. And then, yeah, all this stuff and just noticing the fears come up when I pull away the things that I like, right? The comfort of the food, the comfort of the caffeine, just all my things that I like, all the comfort, and just seeing where the fears that came out through that and just recoding it. And this is gonna sound very woo-woo, but I was taking the medication because, if you ask a doctor, they tell you have to take this medication for the rest of your life.
Right.
And they get mad that you even ask about what an alternative is. Like I've had doctors be like, be grateful, you just have to take a pill. Like, get out of here. But there was actually an experience I had 2 years ago where a doctor wouldn't give me my medication, even though my blood didn't change. He said, oh, you're gonna have to come back in here every 3 months. I wanna monitor it. He tried to put me on like subscription plan to pay more money just to keep getting it. And it was like flip something to me. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Wow.
I'm gonna find a way to get off this medication. This
is something that RFK Jr. is trying to stop, is financial incentives.
The gatekeeper of this medication.
Yeah, the financial incentives to prescribe things and then gatekeeping whether or not you can get useful medication. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, so I did all these things very holistically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doing sauna, I'm doing all these things. And then just feeling into my body one day, it was just like intuition just told me, it was like, hey, you're done. You don't need it anymore.
Wow.
And so what I did, of course, I asked ChatGPT. I was like, I can't just stop taking it. And
what did ChatGPT say?
It said take 1 day on, 1 day off. I did that. By the third day of taking it again, my body rejected it. I felt terrible. I felt like a depletion of energy.
It's just 3 days?
The third day of not taking it.
Really?
Or, sorry, third day of taking it.
Wow.
So I took it, I didn't take it, and the day that I took it again, my body rejected it. And I was like, I get it. I'm done. And I haven't touched it since.
That's crazy.
I think there's a lot of things like that.
Well, I wonder if that study that shows that visualization increases physical strength. Like I really wonder if you have the ability to accentuate healing, if you just concentrate, like if you get an injury and the injury is going to heal, but if concentrating on that injury helps it heal more.
Oh.
But how many people actually do that, right? How many people actually like really visualize something?
Well, even just the placebo effect of thinking you got it. So there's a study, I think it was done on ACL surgeries. Could be meniscus. It was one of these knee surgeries where they took two groups. They give one group the surgery, the other group, they just cut their knee open and then sewed it right back up. Same results over whatever the period of time was.
Wait a minute, it can't be ACL surgery because ACL is a stabilizing ligament.
It was one of these knee surgeries.
Yeah.
And they had the same results.
That doesn't make sense. That
Jamie,
seems
help me out here.
That seems a little wacky because ACLs are that's
maybe
the ligament
it was
in the center that keeps it from moving side to side and up and down.
Maybe it was meniscus.
Maybe that makes more sense.
But yeah,
meniscus surgeries are rough because when they take it out, then you have this hole there. You have like a gap missing, depending on how much you take out. And some guys get a bunch of their meniscus taken out. Guys even get like artificial meniscus put in or donor meniscus. You know.
Yeah. But I mean. Was that book?
I think visualization is a factor.
And belief.
Yeah. You're not going to regrow your ACL though with your brain.
No.
I mean, if it's not connected, get that shit fixed. But because I know a lot of guys who didn't, and then eventually they did. I know a lot of guys who got their ACL blown out and they just tried to rehab it, but it kept grinding, so it's always slipping out. They're always tearing their meniscus more. And it's like, fuck, dude, just get it fixed. Yeah. Get it fixed. 6 months later, you'll be back on the mats. Get your
ACL fixed.
Yeah, get your ACL fixed.
Yeah, no, it's wild though. I mean, if you start going down this rabbit hole of seeing like how many placebo studies have been done, that's why it's so hard to find drugs that actually work.
Okay, this is weird. I think this is sort of
okay.
What does it say?
180 patients, osteoarthritis, knee surgery.
Were randomly assigned to receive arthroscopic debridement, arthroscopic lavage, or placebo surgery. Patients in the placebo group received skin incisions and underwent a similar debridement without insertion of the arthroscope. Patients and assessors of the outcome were blinded to the treatment group assignment. Outcomes were assessed at multiple points over a 24-month period with the use of 5 self-reported scores, 3 on scales for pain and 2 on scales for function, and 1 objective test of walking and stair climbing. A total of 165 patients completed the trial. Results: at no point did either of the intervention groups report less pain or better function than the placebo group. Interesting. But this is just like, I always wonder, like, how bad was their injury? What are we talking about? How many people were there? How many people were in this group? 165 patients. Conclusions in this controlled trial involving patients with osteoarthritis of the knee. The outcomes after arthroscopic lavage or arthroscopic debridement were no better than those after a placebo procedure. That's kind of nuts, man.
And I think, like, it's weird how we talk about the placebo that way. It's kind of like diminishing it. It's like, yeah, look, it didn't work. But that's not what happened. The people believed they got the surgery.
Right. That's the fucked up part about placebo effects. It's measurable. Like, the benefits are measurable.
Like,
with
those
certain
people
things.
they did heal. They did have less pain.
But the question is, like, would they have healed anyway without it? I don't know. Or is it because they believed that they were healed, that it relaxed them, and then they were thinking, okay, it's healing now. I got the surgery. It's on the right track. It's getting better now. And maybe if they had that mindset, if they could figure out a way to make that mindset without the surgery, they could have just do it.
Yeah,
Belief. All right, dude. The success code. Did you have an audible or an audio version of this?
It's on Spotify. It's Audible.
Did you read it?
I did read it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's me.
I love when
Get to hear all
authors
my dirty
read
stories.
their own stuff, and a bunch of people sing your praises in the back of the book. And
you can look up my name because I rebranded it and I haven't changed the name on Spotify. So just look up Brand Epps and you'll find the book.
What do you mean you rebranded the book?
Yeah, I had
What's it called on Spotify?
Program to Fail.
Okay, well, let people know. Yeah, so they could.
Program to Fail on Audible.
Okay.
Success code on everywhere else.
All right, beautiful. Thanks, brother. It was fun.
Thank you, brother.